Right, let's see if that works. Is it working? I think we might be. That looks promising. Evening all. Hopefully we're coming through loud and clear. Give us a thumbs up underneath the video if we're working. Type to me in the comments or whatever. That would be marvellous. Let's have a look. Evening Peter. Evening Chris. Evening the other Peter. Excellent. Looks like we're working. Marvellous. Good-o. Right, so I've got a load of more vintage. I keep looking over there for the camera and it's not there anymore. It's over there. I must get used to this. Vintage, even Colin. Freezing. What's freezing? Oh, the stream. Might be my internet going out bad. Hang on a minute. Let me just see if I can fiddle with settings. Stream settings. Stream health. It says it's healthy on my end. I'll just keep that screen up to keep an eye on it. Yes, what was I just saying? Yes, so I've got a load of vintage photographs I've been scanning in today, about 40 I think, to have a look at. I should have noticed from the email and from the website that the catalogue is now up on Easy Live. Either click on here or from the sales pages over here, click on the register for auction. That takes you over to Easy Live. If you haven't got an account already, up in the top right hand corner there is create an account. It's very simple, it's just the usual email, name, address and stuff. If you've already got an Easy Live account, if you've bid with us or any other auction on the Easy Live platform, just log in and then click on the register to bid, and that will register for that auction. You see the catalogues there, and you'll see in the lots there's also a little video. You just scroll down the page a little bit of all the lots. The only thing I didn't video, the only two things were the two all wins. Lot 1331, because they're only front doors, so you know, I'll photograph front and back anyway, so there we are. So that's up there, so you can log in now and bid now. If you can't join us next Sunday at 1 o'clock for the live auction, you can leave bids anytime with the auto bid thing. You just stick your maximum bid in there and click the place auto bid button, and then the system will bid for you on Sunday live with everybody else. We don't get to know what your auto bid is. It just appears as another bid, as another bidder as it comes in on the day. The little +1 option next to it, it tells you here what the +1 means and what auto bid is. Come to that. The +1 is if, say, you place an auto bid of £250, but somebody else has the £250 bid, because that's just the way the auction flows, then the system would bid one extra bid for you to try and get it. So if you're on the wrong bid, as it were, the +1 will get you the one extra bid. Otherwise, if somebody else has the £250 bid and you'd also bid 250, obviously you wouldn't win it. So that's what that is. So hopefully that makes sense. There's plenty of help on the Easy Live system anyway, of how to do it, and you can always contact Easy Live themselves if you're having a problem registering or anything like that, and they will sort you out. Good-o. So there we are. Any questions, comments on any of the machines or anything, let me know and I'll get the extra info. There's a couple of bandit interiors people have asked for, the high top and something else. Black cherry, was it? Just to see the insides with the mech out, so I'll do those. I'll try and get around to do them tomorrow. It's been a bit of a hectic few days for one thing and another. Evening, Paul. Yeah, we're sort of there on that one, so that's good. But also, I'm losing track of days, Friday, was it? I picked up some very nice early machines. Only a small collection, but really nice early stuff. That we may well do as a separate little tiny auction again, probably early October. because it's a bit of a niche market for that kind of stuff. It needs, you know, good descriptions and one thing, a little bit of research into it. So keep an eye out for that one. Yeah, and then September the 25th, there's some more stuff coming for. I've got some pictures here. Right then. Are we back? I think we might be. Hang on a minute. Oh dear, what's happened here now? Let me go here again. Let me go over here, a bit out of the way a bit. It's all going horribly wrong. You just mask me off a little bit out of the way. Go back one. Pause that. I just got a really crap connection, I think. I'm not sure. Chris says you can hear me now. Well, that's good. Marvellous. Maybe we're back. I don't know what's going on. I think it's just a really bad connection tonight. Anyway, if you can still hear me and you're still there, I don't know, wave or something. So, a few new bits coming in the past few days is what I was looking at, and then we'll try and look at some nice archived pictures if you're all still there. So we've got a nice pyramid. Pretty much mint, or as good original as you're going to get. And then there is a, a golden bell. We sold this one a few months ago, I think. Maybe a bit longer. Chap's having a bit of a swap round, just spotted something else he likes, so that one's come back in again. And then we've got a little cocktail video table. Sounds okay, but the video keeps freezing. Oh dearie me. I'm not sure. I think it's just my internet connection must be very, very bad tonight, or somewhere along the line. I don't know if there's anything else I can do here. Let me just see if I can change the no, I can't do that while I'm broadcasting anyway. I don't know, you'll have to bear with. If it's not going to work, we'll have to give up. We'll see. Yeah, cocktail video table. And what was the next thing? Oh, these were some bits from the other day. Let me just play these through and see if it'll work. There's also a Williams soccer pin table coming, 1963 or 4, I think it is. I haven't took a photograph of that yet because I haven't put it together, but I have been sent a little video of it running from the chap who's consigned it. It looks very nice, so that's good. It does seem to be very, very laggy, doesn't it? Suggesting... Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I can do with my end. I think we are just, I've got a poor connection for some reason tonight. So, sorry about that. We'll try and carry on. If it's really too bad, we'll just have to give up and try it again on Tuesday night. Yeah, it's dropping frames on the stream I can see here on the analysis thingy. Anyway, all this other stuff come in recently. So this will get catalogued in the next week or so, really. I've got to try and concentrate on the spare parts auction next for the 11th of September. And then sort of work on this stuff, which is the 25th of September in the background as we trundle along. So there we are. Right, so we see if we can get some of these archive pictures to work. If not, we'll give up. Let's see. Oh, look, I've gone all funny again now. Hang on a minute. Let me do that. And that. And shove me over here a bit out of the way. Oh dear, nothing's working properly, is it? Right, where are we? Belfry, Aaron's Belfry. Here we are. Now, some of these pictures are, well, they all come from, hang on a minute. Chris is not sure if you saw this, but Blip got some machines for your next auction. Yes, Chris, thank you. I'll sort that out early next week. Gary said evening. Evening, Gary. Yeah, so this bunch of photographs came from an album from the Bollens family. So there's like some old advertising illustrations, photographs of stuff out on site and all sorts. Some of them were used in Nick Costa's book, so some of them you would have seen. Some of them didn't go in the book, so you won't have seen, I doubt. So yeah, but I thought it was just interesting to run through a few. There's a load more to do yet as well, but so I picked out kind of all the big arcade machines. Some of these exist still, some don't. So there we are. Right, so Aaron's Belfry, there's a few of those around. It's a good little thing if you've never seen it. It's a working model, but there's actually like little model bell ringers in the bell tower there. They pull on the ropes and they actually ding proper bells in the bell tower, so it plays a tune. They do actually ring the bells. That's quite an impressive thing, really. There's 2 or 3 of them around. I think Steve Maxter's got one down in his museum down in Kent. And we've got the Blowball game, another Aaron. So these are all Aaron's machines, his first batch. I don't think any of these survive. I've never seen one, but it seems to be based on the little, you might have seen the little Hayden countertop Blowball game. I think there's 1 or 2 originals around, and then back in the 80s, might have been late 70s, early 80s, Roger Gilman made a batch of reproduction ones, very, very well made. Beautiful little thing, 2 little clown's heads, and you pump the pumps. So this is kind of a giant version of the countertop Hayden's version. You pump the little pumps either side, and there's bellows inside the machine, and it blows, the clown heads actually blow the ball either way. And obviously you try and blow it into your opponent's goal. So the blow ball, this Aaron's one, which is in a metal outdoor case, just seems to be a giant version of the Hayden. I've actually got a picture of one of the little ones. But yeah, well, that's quite interesting. So I don't know of any of those surviving anywhere in the world. If anybody does, that would be nice to know. The Grand Marathon Cycling Race. There's a few of these around. I've got one. I think there's one down at Woodley Hole. I think there's one up in Roberts Arcade. We went a few weeks ago. I think the name of it in a minute. Woodbank. If you've never seen one, brilliant machine, big floor standing thing, size of a wardrobe, and you wang the handles around as usual, and the cyclists actually pedal their little bicycles as it goes around, and they do a big loop-the-loop. So it's just a racer of the 2 cyclists. Usual thing, 2 pennies in and the winner gets their penny back. But these again, they're made in the oak cabinet, like in the picture here, the illustration, and the outdoor steel cabinets. There's probably I don't know, there's 2 or 3 in America, I think, and there's 4 or 5 over here, maybe, something like that. So there's a few of those around. Lovely thing. The English Execution. This again is in Aaron's outdoor steel cabinet. Again, there's 3 or 4 of them around, possibly more. There was an extra large one went through Christie's, was it, I think, some years ago, which went for a load of money. I think David Copperfield bought it, I think, if I remember rightly. But all the others are this sort of standard size. So the English Execution. Evening Daz. So it's a nice working model. Then you've got the Firefighters. This is another one that I've got. The Firefighters, there's a few around. I think in Darren's working model book, there's 4 or 5 different ones in there. That's quite good fun. You stick your penny in the fire bell rings. The little firehouse to the left, you can't really see it in this picture, but there's a firehouse to the left of the main house. The doors open, the little fire engine comes out. It should be a proper Bing fire engine, which is, there is in mine. They're worth quite a lot of money, the engine in it on its own. And there's some kind of lighting effect to look like flames in the windows of the house. Fireman goes up the ladder into the house, returns back down with the baby on his shoulder. So he's rescued the baby from the fire. And then the fire engine goes back in the house and the bell stops ringing, and that's it. So yeah, quite a clever model, really. Yeah, nice thing. We sold one a few years back in an outdoor metal case, if you remember rightly, which I think was the only one I've ever seen in a metal case. Mine's in an oak case like this picture. And the other ones, I think all the other ones in Darren's book are all oak cased as well. Paul says there's a cycle race in Battlesbridge. I've not been to Battlesbridge for years and years and years. But, yeah, there's a few in America. I think Mike Mundy's recased them in one of the Mike Mundy's catalogues into like a round topped case. So, but I've not seen any of those over here. We've got the football game, Aaron's football game, usual sort of thing, all the little men in their woolly jerseys. Again, another one. There's a few of them around. I've got an Essex one, which is very similar, but I haven't got the Aaron's one. There was a mechanism and the remains of a metal cabinet, wasn't there, up in Spicer's auction a few months ago, made loads and loads of money. So again, it was made in the metal cabinet and the wooden cabinet, as per the picture. The Great Golf Competition, another Aaron's machine. All batting away, trying to get the ball down the golf holes. We sold one of these back, some of you might remember, in the days of Huntington Racecourse, when we used to do the auctions at the racecourse. We sold one there. Painted blue, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah. They're quite a rare machine, but again, there's 2 or 3 of them around at least. I think there was one for sale in America a little while ago. So, yeah. Again, it survives, which is good. The Huntsman's Derby, another Aaron's. Usual sort of thing for a horse racer. Well, I think these do actually do an oval track rather than just end to end. They do a circuit of an oval track. I'm pretty sure I've seen at least one of these somewhere. So again, I think it's one that survives as far as I remember. And we've got the Jolly Fireman Racer. Again, there's 2 or 3 of these around. So 2-player races, and you race your fireman up the ladder. So, the house, I think, is the same, possibly the same casting as they use on the fireman, the firefighters model. I'm not sure. I never seen 2 together to compare them, but it looks pretty much the same. I know you'd think it would be the same. So you just race your fireman up to the top of the ladder. 2 pennies in, 1 penny out, usual thing. I can't think I've seen one anywhere for a while, but I know there's 2 or 3 around. The Marksman Shooter. So there's at least one, because I remember playing it around. The back, it has a big rotating disc in the back of the machine with little prizes in, and you fire your ball and try and hit the little target, and if you do, it drops a prize out into the prize chute. So the back revolving target is the same as in the Aaron's pile driver machine. And in the pile driver, you use a little man. What do you do? He hits an anvil or something, if I remember rightly. But the back thing is the same, and the same principle, just drops a prize out for the winner. So yes, prizes are not tied on with wire, but are firmly held in cups. Delivers anything from a large packet of cigarettes to a pin. Also hard cash. Who doesn't like a bit of hard cash? So yeah. The Great Occultus. I don't believe there's any of these existing still, which is a great shame. So this was a life-size figure and a massive cabinet, obviously. Fortune teller that gave out a card. Other than that, don't know a great deal about them, but yeah, it must have been a pretty impressive thing. So, yeah, I don't think any survive. I don't think anyone's ever found one. And I think it's big enough that if one was around, somebody would have found it by now. But you never know. But yeah, what a great thing. I presume it would probably been a wax head, I expect, and wax hands. He's sort of looking into a crystal ball. So what the animation was, I don't know. It looks like he's got his left hand kind of held out like he might collect a card, like the American, what's the American machine? The lady in which her hand moves, she kind of grabs a card and then drops it down the chute. So we'll have that same kind of idea in it probably. Don't really know. We've got the scientific automatic palmistry. There's a few of these around. There's at least 3 different versions, because I've got 2 different versions and I haven't got this one. So this one's in a metal outdoor case again. Then it comes in an oak cabinet, oak panel cabinet, same shape basically, but not with the diamond on the bottom. Then there's also a bit of a later one, a 30s one, which I've got one, and I've seen 1 or 2 more. It's kind of got like light up, kind of like Art Deco Odeon pillars. It looks a bit like a Wurlitzer's cinema organ of the 30s. It all kind of lights up. It's quite a good looking thing, really. Yeah. So they has a on the sloping front. If you've never seen one of these, it had a pin field. So you put your hand on it, and all these little pins kind of come up and supposedly read your palm. It's a bit tickly, and it spits a card out. That's quite a good effect. It's quite clever how the little pins work to read your palm. So say there's a few of those around, but I haven't seen one in the metal case, as per this picture. And then we've got the rifle range, kind of similar to the other shooter, orange shooter. But I think this one, I can't remember what you have to do to get a prize on this one. Got a big prize cup, so it must be a prize vendor of some sort. I think you just have to hit the revolving targets in the middle there. Get your ball into the, kind of see a circle in the middle of the playfield there. I think I remember that revolves, and I think you have to get the ball through the little holes in the target. But it kind of uses that standard Banco, the British American Novelty Co. gun, like you have on the pushy shooters. It's even got the little cats in the casting, so they didn't even bother to change that, interestingly. There's at least one of these around as well. I've seen it and played it. A long time ago, mind you. Steer a boat. This was an interesting one. This one pictured in the metal case again. There is at least one. I think Greg's got it now over in America. And it actually had a tank of water and a boat in it, and I think it works with magnets, if I remember rightly, because I don't think the boat is actually attached anyhow. And you have to steer your boat into the dock, and you get your coin back if you manage to steer the boat into the dock. So a wet tank game, which presumably was extremely unreliable, probably leaked, and all the water evaporated. Hence, I think there's only one survive. But yeah, what a cracking machine. So yeah, we'll quite like a steer boat. If anyone's got one languishing in their shed, I'll be a buyer for that. The British tank. Again, as far as I know, there's one at least of these. And again, I think it's kind of some kind of shooter thing where you move your tank and fire the gun into the, wherever it's supposed to be at the other end, a little fort, castle or something. Yeah, again, what a great machine. This one, is it called the Artillery or something? Which I think might be the same game. I'm not too sure without trying to find another picture. But as far as I know, there's at least one of those. Atlas. I don't know who made this one. So moved off the orange machines now. Atlas, this, I was trying to think that I've seen another illustration of this in a catalogue or a book or something somewhere. But I can't remember where. I thought it might be in the Hong Kong Works catalogue, if you've got that, but I had a look and I couldn't see it in there. So yeah, it seems to be a kind of a multiple strength test, but convert your strength into electrical energy. So it looks like it's got a lifter, looks like a stirrup lifter thing. And also there's two bars on the back which are, you twist or pull together to test your strength. And then I think they're underneath the writing on the top plate. It looks like there's a window with probably like an electrical meter in, which presumably just altered depending on how much you pulled. Probably not by electricity, I shouldn't imagine. I think it probably was just a simple mechanical linkage, I suspect. But yeah, nice bit of deco nonsense, so it appeals to me. Some automatic sports coast stuff now. These aren't the best pictures, but these are taken on site somewhere. I think Bolland's had them on site I didn't know where these were. Can't remember, somebody might remember. So you got the cricket machine that we sold the base for in the last auction. And there was a whole machine sold up north there in the year for 18,000, did it make, I think, something like that. So quite a rare thing, lovely, all cast iron. Very impressive, like the with the roof on there, like the cricket pavilion. So yes, we like that. All these pictures I'll stick on the website, on the Colcon website later on, of course, as usual, so you can have a look at them a bit better. The football, this is a 6-man footballer. So there's two versions of football, a 6-man and a 2-man. I've got a 2-man one. Now this being the 6-man one. The usual sort of thing with the little men in their little woolly jerseys. The top on the 2-man one is different. The rest of the cabinet is the same. Cast iron, and they also did them in wooden cabinets as well. We sold a wooden one, I think it was a 2-man one some years ago. Hopefully wherever these were on site, somebody hung a white sheet or a white board or something behind them. So yeah, there you go. That's a 6-man footballer. Then we have the golf. Again, same cabinet basically. Again, automatic sports go, sort of turn of the century. 1910, something like that. So, yeah, very nice. Again, there's a handful of them around the world. Not many. 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. I'm not sure exactly how many numbers of each of these there are, but pretty rare things, very heavy, all cast iron, fabulous things. And then this one is which one is this? This is the, let me just have a look at my little notes here. This is the shooting big game shooter. With kind of the castle bottom instead of the mermaid bottom. There's 1 or 2 of these around known in the world. There's various different versions of the shooter. This is the big game, and then later, I think we had a colour picture, didn't we, on the website somewhere, the big game shooter. And then after the war, they did kind of a wartime conversion on them and made them into whatever it was called. Something with a bit of a wartime theme. Again, pretty rare. 2 or 3 of them known, something like that. The electric ray rifle, this is quite an interesting thing. I don't know if there's any whole ones around. We did sell that line head. We sold one of those in the past. And you'll see in a minute the on the base is quite a good picture because they're taking the kind of the cowling off of the base. Now I have actually got that kind of round tin cover. It just kind of clips around with two clips with a lovely sign on it, which you'll see in the next picture, I think it is. So that bit exists, and the lion head exists somewhere, but I'm not sure if there's a whole one anywhere. If anybody's got one or knows of anyone, evening David, that'd be good to see. This seems to be a similar version, but a pistol version. There are a couple of the Auto Rifle Co, whatever it's called, do list a pistol one, so I think that probably might be it. And there's an advert for it. So yeah, I've got this lovely electrical rifle sign, which is really colourful tin sign, curved printed tin sign, and the kind of the whole round, whatever you call it, cover that goes on the machine. Don't know where it is exactly, but I've got it somewhere. When I can find it, I'll take a photograph of it because it's a really colourful kind of tin lithograph. Lovely thing. Bought it years and years and years ago. Yeah. So this was like an electric thing. I'm not sure exactly how it worked. I think the little target maybe were lights. Or something. You tried to shoot the light or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's the electrical rifle. This is Eric the Robot. I don't think there's any Eric the Robots around, unfortunately. I'd love one. I've got the Robot King, which is the one that used to be at Pocklington. So this is Eric the Robot, and he spoke your fortune and delivered you a lucky charm. But I have got the, I think it's this one, or is it the other robot? I think it's Eric the Robot. Had a 78 record in it with all the fortunes in it, which I've got. I'm sure it's Eric, because there's another robot which kind of looks very similar. I think it's just called The Robot, which again spoke your fortune. So yeah, whether I could build a whole machine just from the 78 RPM record, that would be a bit ambitious, wouldn't it? But it's quite tempting. So, yep, I don't think any survived, sadly. If anybody knows any different, I'd love to see it. Apart from anything else, it'd make it very much easier to build one, wouldn't it? If we could go and see one. But it kind of looks like on his, if you imagine him sitting down on his knees just in front of the sign, it looks like there's two dials, like telephone dials possibly. And they might just be decorative things, but I imagine you perhaps dialed or press the buttons and if your date of birth, the usual sort of nonsense that we have with fortune tellers. But I don't really know. There's no details about him anywhere. Other than the Hong Kong Works catalogue has got his sizes and his weight. But yeah, I want an Eric the Robot. Anyway, and the next one. So these are now London Automatics machines, kind of similar to the Orange machines. But it's actually London Automatics. And they made two versions of the boxing machine. You'll see the other one in a minute. Are any of these around? I think there might be. Yes, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's at least one in the metal cabinet. So obviously this is a note cabinet. They did a metal cabinet version as well, which there is at least one of because I've seen it somewhere. I'm trying to think who's got it. Anyway. Two controls, your little men control either arm, box away. It's another London Automatics, the Chinese Juggler. Place penny in slot and see the Chinese Juggler go through his performance. Don't know of any of those surviving. If anybody's seen one or knows of one, let me know. So I imagine just a juggling automaton. So whether it was, some of these were just cased up automaton that were commercially available at the time, really. So don't know. The head ball. There's a couple of these around. The head ball in a metal cabinet. A quite dramatic game. All the little men. You see, if you can see in the middle of the playfield there's quite a circle. So it plays with quite a largish ball. The little men are 6 inches high or so. The ball is, I don't know, 3 inches maybe, something like that. And when you pull down the handles on either team, the whole team of men kind of jump up quite violently and head the ball. And obviously you try and head it in your opponent's goal. It's as simple as that, but it's quite a noisy game to play because lifting all those men up in one big lump. It's quite a thud as you play the game. So that's quite a good fun thing. So I think there's at least 2 of them around. The head ball, the London Automatics. There's kind of a catalogue illustration of it. And then we've got Knockout. So this is kind of, again, the London Automatics box, as it looks like it's probably the same mechanism. But the handles are different. Interestingly, I have got this cabinet with a working model in it, a Nicholson working model, but it is a Knockout cabinet. I think it's even got the top flash on it, or it doesn't say Knockout, but it has got that same shape top flash, and just with the handles blanked off. So yeah, Nicholson obviously, well, either got hold of an empty cabinet or got hold of a Knockout and threw the mechanism away and put a working model in it. There you go. The Polo, this is obviously an on-site one. This is in, I'm trying to think where these photographs are. It'll come to me anyway. In the outdoor cabinet, the Polo game. So little men on horseback, swinging their polo mallets as you press the handles down. Again, polo, I've seen at least one polo, so there's at least one around somewhere. There you go in the oak cabinet. You see the little horse is a little bit better on there. So yeah, quite a nice thing. And then we've got the Palmer's Cycle Racer. This is a bit of a holy grail machine. I don't believe any exist. It's all cast iron with a glass dome on the top, 2 little cyclists in that just do a circuit of the track. Yeah. If anybody's got one of those stuffed away in the shed, I think we'd all like to know. But who knows? I don't know of any. As far as I know, there's none exist, but there might be one languishing somewhere. But yeah, I'm sure we'd all like to see it. So that's the Palmer's Cycle Racer, turn the century. And then we've got a couple of Walton's machines, the Bar. This one, as far as I know, doesn't exist. I haven't seen one. So there's 2 beer engines, like you pull your pint in the pub. So a 2-player race to see who could fill up their pint glass the quickest. So I imagine it was no doubt extremely temperamental, no doubt leaked. It's in a metal cabinet, which probably rusted away within about 3 weeks. So that's probably why none survive, as far as I know. Yeah, so these cabinets are metal. They did several machines in similar cabinets. That was the Bar. Then you've got push ball. Again, you'll see it's kind of the same theme of cabinet. I don't think there's a push ball, or is there? Can't remember if I've seen one of these or not. But yeah, Obviously the principle is pretty simple, push your ball to the other end. So how it works, I don't know if it must have been some kind of clutch mechanism because you've got winding handles. But the two people seem to be pushing the same ball. So it's not a race as such, it must have been some kind of, don't know. Maybe the faster you turned your handle, I presume, it moved your player faster than your opponent. Don't know. But they also made the twins, the drinking babies, in this same kind of style of cabinet, of which there's 3, I think. I've got one. There's one up in Woodbank Arcade, and there's one in America. I think there's 3 of the twins, the drinking babies, which again use real liquid in the glasses, so notoriously difficult to keep running. But the little babies, little dolls, sit there and you wind the handle around and they drink their glass of milk. So I haven't got a picture of that one, unfortunately. Oh, there we are. That's it. That's a lot. Let's just stick them on play a minute and they'll just run through. So there we are. So hopefully you found that lot interesting. So I'll upload all this lot to the website later on tonight. Stick on the appropriate pages. But you can always, if you rather than try to search for the menu, always look on the little museum icon in the top menu bar, and that shows you the latest archive stuff, latest pictures and everything that's uploaded to the website. So it's easy to find any new stuff all the time. That's the third icon along, the little one that looks like a little museum. So there we are. So it's still more, still another 2 or 3 loads probably of pictures from that collection that I'll scan in due course and upload. There's some of Boland's working models, quite a few of those. There's some really early wall machines, some right weird stuff. And then some other odds and bits and bobs as well. So I'll probably make another 3 batches maybe over the next 3 weekends perhaps. See what else there is to look at. You might be bored of looking at these things. But I'll trod on something. It hurts. A nail or something somewhere in the house. Yeah, and if anybody does know where any of these machines exist, or if you've got one, you can send us a picture of an actual machine. Or if you're out and about up at one of the penny arcades that's got some of these in, then take some pictures for us. That'd be great. And then we can upload those as well. Marvellous. So there we are. Any questions, comments from anybody? Anybody needs to know anything? Fire away. Otherwise, we'll let these run through and probably call that it. And I should be back, all being well, Tuesday night. Next one's Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, isn't it? So I hope you're all having a jolly weekend, whatever you're up to. And yeah, I'll carry on in the meantime. So say this coming week, I'm hopefully get some of these spare parts sorted out and listed. And also I'm hoping to go and collect in another collection of stuff. Again, there's quite a few machines. I believe there's a couple or 3 working models. A chap was saying there's some Allwins that he sort of half restored years ago, took them to bits. Got all the parts chromed up. And basically, they've got around to putting them back together and finishing them off. So there's some sort of projects there to finish off. Yeah, I'm not sure what else. There's fairground stuff as well, and some signs and all sorts of stuff. So a bit of a varied collection. I'm not sure yet how much there is there, whether again it might be a one-off collection, one-off auction. We'll see. So there we are. September the 25th auction. So entries are still open for that, but they'll close in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks today, I think it is. 11th of September. Well, entries will close for that one. So bear that in mind if you've got stuff to sell. Think about getting it to us over the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure when Alan is due next. He was here yesterday morning, I have to think. But yeah, just get in touch. I will endeavour to be at Leamington, all being well, next weekend, one or other day, if you want to meet there, to drop stuff off or collect anything. And otherwise, this coming week, I'm sort of around at Cambridge a bit, but so I might be out on the road today collecting in stuff as well. So just get in touch, basically. Right, let's see. So we'll just roll these through till we get up to the bar. If there's no further questions or comments from anybody, we'll call that it. I'll go and have a cup of tea. And I think some of my lovely handiwork is on the telly again in a minute on Drama Channel, I think it is. The old Sister Boniface things. I think it's the Bake Off issue where I made all the very brightly covered furniture in the Bake Off tent. 1950s or 1960s Bake Off tent. Lots of pink and yellow and green formica tables and things and stuff. So it was quite fun to do. Storyline's a bit naff, but it does look quite good if I say so myself. So there you go, you can watch some of my talent. So here we are, that's it I think, isn't it? There's the bar. And the last one up was the push ball, wasn't it? There we go. So that's a lot of those. Oh, and I've gone all funny again, look. You just move me over here a bit out of the way. Like that. There you go. Pop that down there. So, yes, any details you need to know on any of the machines that are in the auction, ping me a message or whatever. If you want to come and view, this week's going to be a little bit tricky, but I'm sort of around. I'll do my best to accommodate you. But hopefully with the 360-degree videos of all the machines there, and there's 3 or 4 photographs of everyone as well, that should hopefully tell you everything you need to know. As I said, they're all basically all working. They're all a bit stiff and a bit sluggish because they've been in store for a good while, but they are essentially complete working machines ready for restoration. So don't miss out, because you know, getting restoration projects are getting so much harder to find these days. There can't be many left. We keep saying that, but sooner or later we're going to have to run out of you know, stuff that's been in store. So don't miss your chance, basically. Right, that's it then. So I'm off. Thank you very much. Sorry the stream was a bit funny to start with. Hopefully it's not been too bad. I think it's just a really bad connection tonight. So well done those of you who stuck with us. Thank you very much. Hopefully come Tuesday night the internet will have improved slightly, shall we say. Maybe it's just the bank holiday weekend and everybody's on it watching films and stuff. Who knows? So there we are. Over and out. Nighty night. Thanks all, and I'll catch up Tuesday. So let's just stick a note in here. Next video Tuesday Eve 8.05 as usual. There we go. Shove that in there. That's it. I'm off. Thank you very much. Nighty night.